Hello, welcome to our Chapter 1 notes for our government class. I want to start by showing you how you can get to your textbook online. So this is a sample of a Google Classroom for our government class. Posted on our Google Classroom will be a links to the textbook. So if you just click here on links to the textbook, I'll highlight that for us. Links to the textbook, it will look like. Click that link and it will open a Google Doc for you that will say links to the government textbook. And it's broken up between the glossary, the Constitution, and then all of our chapters 1 through 7. The glossary, if you click that link below, has basically definitions of all of the vocabulary and words we'll need to know. And it's in both English and Spanish, so that might be very helpful. We then have a link to the Constitution itself. And we will begin today with Chapter 1 in our textbook. So I'm going to come back up here and go to Chapter 1, and I click that link, and it pulls up a preview of Chapter 1. And I'm just going to click on that, and it will open a new page, a new tab. And this is the online version of our textbook. It begins, of course, with Unit 1, A Tradition of Democracy. Are you doing all you can? And we'll skip through the first several introductory pages of this. And we'll actually start Chapter 1 notes here on page 6. And instead of a Google slideshow or other notes, I'm going to use our textbook and go through the first section of Chapter 1 and talk very briefly about some of the most important points. You should read the textbook and think about what we're talking about here as you go through and read it. So our text begins asking, why study civics? So civics and our government class basically mean the same thing. Civics is the study of citizenship and government. That's what our textbook tells us, and that's what the word means. So civics will be studying both citizenship and government, and we'll do that this semester. We focus on a citizen, a legally recognized member of a country. So if you live in a country and are a citizen of that country, and different countries have different ways of doing that. Some countries, if you are born there, you are a citizen. In other countries, if your family was born in that country, but you are born somewhere else, you are still a citizen. And in almost every country on earth, you can become a citizen of that country by going through different processes. But we will focus on what it means to be a citizen of the United States and what it means to be a resident or an alien who lives in the United States, and the path to becoming a citizen if you are not one. So what does being a citizen mean? A person who lives and is a legally recognized member of a country. Well, history tells us that that comes from Latin, and a long time ago, over 2,000 years ago, in the Roman Republic, the Romans started the use of the word citizen. But today, really, a citizen is an important term to know because all citizens of a country have rights and responsibilities, and these can differ from country to country. The textbook tells us that in Israel, for example, all citizens, men and women, must serve in the military for at least a short time. What does it mean to be an American citizen? So the textbook then finishes through chapter 7 or page 7 and also moves on to page 8, and it talks about both the roles, rights, and responsibilities of being a citizen. What you need as a member of a family as part of citizenship, living in a village or town, living in a state in our country. So these are all parts of being a citizen. The textbook then moves on and talks about American values. That the United States has been an inspiration to other nations because of its basic values. And the textbook says that the 3 basic values of American citizenship are equality, liberty, and justice for all people. So equality means people being treated equal. And America has a long history of saying that all people should be treated equally, from the Declaration of Independence, which says all men are created equal. But We also, as a country, have struggled to make sure that all citizens and all residents are truly treated with equality, and it is an evolving part of the American story. But it still is one of our basic values, and we work every day to try to meet that goal of and that value of equality. The text then discusses liberty, which means freedom, and that's the same thing as equality. It is a value and an important part of what it means to be an American and to live in the United States. But it is also a story of our country struggling to be true to that value of liberty throughout its history for all of its people. And that story continues every day. And the third and last value of American values, according to our text, is justice. Do you believe all citizens have certain rights that no one can simply take away? The answer to that question from an American civics standpoint is yes, all citizens should have rights and we should all be treated equally under the law. And that is an idea of justice as one of our core American values. So, if you are a citizen of the United States, if we live here and we've been born a citizen or we become a citizen, what are the qualities of being a good citizen? What does it mean to live in the United States and be a good citizen? And so the textbook then finishes that very short part of chapter 1, section 1 and says, well, we need to vote in elections. So we have regular elections, and we vote not just for president, but we vote for all the members of the United States House every 2 years in this country. And we vote for our US senators, but we also vote for mayors and people on the library board and our school board. So we have lots of elections in this country. And to be a good citizen, the text says you should vote in them. And you can also become involved other ways in politics, as the text discusses. You should also express your opinion. If you feel very strongly about something that the school district is doing, you can go to a school board meeting and you can talk to the school board members and you can address the public, or you can write a letter, or you can make a phone call or write an email. So the text says that expressing your opinion is also a very important quality of a good citizen. And then lastly, it says, what does it mean to be an effective citizen? Not just a good citizen, but then an effective one. And it lists 10 qualities that would make you an effective citizen. Are you a responsible family member? So just how you treat people at home and your family, that is part of citizenship. And respecting and obeying all the laws of this country and the state and the city that we live in, that's all part of being an effective citizen. And then the textbook continues and lists several others, and you should read those and know them and live them. And then that's the end of chapter 1, section 1. Very short. And so to recap, really it's just about civics in our lives, what civics is, the study of citizenship and government, and then defining those terms. What does it mean to be a citizen? And specifically, what does it mean to be an American citizen? And how can we be a good citizen? So that concludes our chapter 1, section 1 notes. You should go back and read chapter 1, section 1, just those couple of pages, and make sure you understand all that stuff. Thank you very much.